Sister, you know I got you. You know I got you, Steph. I said I would. No problem. I just have to dump a whole bunch of tobacco in this pipe and get it lit. For those of you who have missed out, we were just hanging out with Raphael. And if you weren't hanging out with Raphael, sorry about your luck. You missed out. Every Saturday. Except for when I fill in for him. And that's okay. So the sun's going to swing across me, and that's why I've got this facing out like this. Sorry about the backlight, all of that. It is a little bit chilly this morning. Well, for my ears anyways. It's either I wear the hood and not the beanie, or I wear the beanie. Going with the beanie because I made it myself. Yes, I actually knit that myself. I've found that if you have anger issues, like I tend to, knitting is very therapeutic. Extremely therapeutic. Because you can't knit while you're pissed. There's no way you can do it. You'll just be tearing every damn stitch out and restarting. So for me, it's a good way for me to just calm my mind, get in the spirit of being friendly, and then going with it. Now, because Steph won't be on today, she's got some issues going on with her back, and now they've got some tile people coming to fix an upstairs bathroom, which I ain't doing tile, so if I got tile work, I'm calling some people too. So Steph, you be careful, be well. Hopefully Skip will be home soon. And in case anybody's wondering, yeah, I'm still Raiders for life, and no, I can't agree with Mr. Raphael on wearing the Broncos shirt. Sorry, I can't do it. You'll never see me wear Broncos. Even if I have grandchildren that somehow end up on a Broncos team, I'm not wearing Broncos. Not happening. I'll still show up in Raiders gear. I might cheer for my kids, but I'm still not going to disgrace my team by wearing Broncos. Ugh. I mean, that's one step down from San Diego. Oh wait, they don't have a team anymore. That's one step down from Los Angeles. Wait, that's a Raiders town, so alright. That at least explains that. And I'm not sure where the Kansas City Chiefs rank in there. That's my division. Had a small little punch champion today. Now I'm smoking It is Sutliff Emerald Isle. Somewhere between a English and a Balkan. I think a slightly sweeter than normal English, and you're pretty close. Lots of Latakia, so Boris, you're probably not going to like it. Sorry about not chatting too terribly much. I'm well aware that this pipe takes a lot of work to get it started. Hi, Paul. How you doing, sir? Steph? It's Tailgate, babe. Sorry. People want the real show. They don't want the Tailgate. Jeffrey Feinberg. Howdy, sir. Great to have you in. And we, as anybody will tell you, the Tailgate is just the good meeting place, the time to sit around and hang out. So, really, everybody's wanting to come and hang out with Steph. So when they hear, oh, Donald's taking over Steph's channel for a minute, well, to hell with that. It's got to be what it is, Steph. But I don't mind. I'm not greedy. I don't have a big viewership. Howdy, Sharon. Yes, ma'am, I am definitely okay. How are you and Paul? Both of y'all having leg issues lately. Paul with the foot, you with the knee. Huva ilta pavaya, Boris. And I know I spelled it wrong on Raphael's, but I haven't trained my phone to spell it out correctly yet. Well, Paul, you just want to see Sharon hop around because on women parts seem to jiggle. For most guys, in any case, those parts that tend to jiggle while they're hopping around tend to get guys a little bit into the realm of excited. So I don't blame you, Paul. I don't blame you at all. Well, Boris, it was 45 degrees Fahrenheit this morning when I started taking trash out. And it's up to about 50. Now, granted, some of y'all in northern climates are laughing at me right now because I'm dressed for winter. Because 50 degrees, oh hell, that's not cold at all. And you're right, it's not cold. But yesterday it was 80 degrees. So that it's only 50 degrees now and might get all the way up into the 60s by this afternoon. Instead of doing stupid stuff and getting a little bit sick, I decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and put the warm hat on and wear the thicker jacket. And if it does get warm enough, I can always zip it down or unbutton it a little bit and take care of that. But I'm not affected by heat the way most people are, so I'm pretty good. All right, Finland scored. Howdy Odie. Ooh, yeah, 37 degrees. Yeah, you see me at 37 degrees, I'm wearing at least one more layer. Now, I'm not wearing a thick pair of pants. I mean, they are jeans. But, you know, and there's just a t-shirt underneath. No, wait. Guess I've got the flannel on today. Put the flannel on, that's right, because it's Michigan State Day. Michigan State's going to win. I'm fairly certain of that. And Sharon, it is good to hear that you are not in pain. That is very good to hear. But that doesn't change the fact that guys like it when women hop around. You don't believe me? Go look at TikTok or YouTube or whatever. They've got thousands of videos with women bouncing around and jiggling their shit. And a lot of them have millions of views. Most of it guys. Including, after talking about how speaking Finnish is like mouth yoga, I guess YouTube was listening and decided to throw yoga videos and yoga stretching videos out on my feed. Yes, I know there's some fairly good-looking women in extremely tight-fitting clothes putting themselves in highly suggestive postures, and I'm fairly certain that that's appealing to a lot of guys, but most of the girls that are doing this stuff are not even old enough to have ever dated my son. So, you know, I'm really not that kind of a dirty old man, just saying. Well, Sharon, if you're hopping around, Paul's watching. Guaranteed. Paul's watching. Whether you're hopping away and he's watching the lower half, or you're hopping towards him and he's watching the top half. It's just the way guys are. Look, if I see Holly hopping around, I'm watching. If Skip sees Steph hopping around, he's watching. Just go ahead and chisel that one in stone. Yeah, Steph, it's 50 degrees here in Houston right now. And while that doesn't seem extremely cold, with our high level of humidity and our lack of general cool weather, it feels a lot colder than it actually is. Now, if it would stay at 50 all day, tomorrow I'd be out here in, you know, a long sleeve shirt, no problem. But my body would say, okay, well, it's going to stay cold, let's get acclimatized to it, and we're good. Now, if I was out hunting deer, this is great weather. I mean, a little bit chilly at the very outset when you first wake up in the morning. But then once you've gotten in deer stand for a little while, or after a good sized cup of coffee, you're pretty good. And, agreeing with Steph here, it's not so much that it's cold. It's that your body doesn't adjust to a 40-degree drop in temperature in a good way. It tends to be that your body starts trying to do things that it doesn't need to do. And then you end up sick. I don't need to end up sick. And because I'm the guy that has psoriasis, and so therefore I'm the one that goes to the grocery store, and that's the way it is. If I get sick, then I have to quarantine off in one little section of the house and make sure to not touch anything. I can't afford to be bringing COVID home. My wife and my mother-in-law both have asthma, which unfortunately, because I have psoriasis, I can't afford to get the vaccine. Let me explain that. Psoriasis just means that I have an overactive immune system. That's all it really means. I very rarely get sick. And then I take steps to make sure that I don't get sick anyways. So let's look at what the vaccine actually does. It doesn't cure or prevent COVID. It treats the symptoms. It makes the symptoms a lot less. So if the symptoms are less, someone with psoriasis wouldn't even notice if they were having COVID, which means they could be having it and spreading it around, just like Typhoid Mary. If you don't know the story of Typhoid Mary, she was biologically immune to all the effects of typhoid. And there she was, spreading it around throughout her whole community, because she wasn't sick. She didn't feel it. There was nothing wrong with her. She had it. She brought it in. She infected a whole lot of people. And that's how the name Typhoid Mary came to be. I don't remember Mary's last name, but they kept the fact that her first name was Mary. And I don't need to be the new COVID version of Typhoid Mary and spreading it around here in the Houston area. So if anybody wants to understand why I keep saying, no, I can't really afford to get the COVID vaccine, it's because I actually put my wife and my mother-in-law at a greater risk if I get the vaccine. Also, in her family, 2 people have died within 3 days of getting the vaccine. 2 different vaccines. I'm not putting my wife at risk. I'm not putting my mother-in-law at risk. It's not happening. Also, their doctor has said to them, it appears that your specific biological makeup shows signs of having an allergy to the vaccine, so it is not good for you to get the vaccine. So my wife and my mother-in-law are not going to get the vaccine. So here's the funny thing. Now there's people out there saying, hey, should we start prosecuting people who don't get the vaccine? If the vaccine was actually eliminating the virus, if it was doing something that it would make it so your body, if you got the vaccine, you had the antibodies that went in, latched onto the COVID virus, and eliminated it from your body in short order and made it so that you're not spreading it around. Okay. Because that's what the polio vaccine does. You know, it provides an antibody that as soon as your body contracts polio, the antibodies go in, surround the polio disease, and then it eliminates it from your body, keeping you from spreading it. COVID vaccine's not doing that. It's not even eliminating you from catching it. There's people dying still after having 3 shots. That's the first vaccine, the second vaccine, and the booster for the vaccine. If it was effective, then there'd be reason, and I'd say, yeah, sure, okay, fine. Sign me up. But it's actually counter-effective. Proof of that is all the people that are walking around without a mask. They're still perfectly capable of spreading it around. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in this area that are still coughing. And you know how they cough? They go, they don't go, they don't try to tuck it into their armpit or into their elbow. They just sit there and so pretty much it's just the way things are happening. Now, Steph, I'm not telling people to not get the vaccine. I'm not telling them to get the vaccine either. They have to make their own informed decision. Every last person should make their own informed decision, regardless of mandate, regardless of anything else. And if you want an informed decision, go to your doctor and set up, get a consultation. And if your situation is such that you shouldn't get the vaccine, then don't. And if your situation is such that you should get the vaccine, then do. My situation is pretty much that I should not. Plus, shortly after leaving the job at the cigar bar, helicopter. So I was working at a cigar bar up on the north side of town, right by the airport. Shortly after leaving it, I left on a Friday, and on Monday I was sick, and I stayed home for 5 days, feeling pretty horrible. Well, 5 days for me to be sick is extremely unusual. It is quite possible that I actually had COVID already. Of course, I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't get checked. But like I said, with psoriasis, I got an overactive immune system. it's going to do above and beyond what most people are going to have. So my body's going to say, okay, so what? It's a virus. We'll take care of it. We're done. There are people out there that are genetically predisposed to getting the virus and keeping it around with them for a while. I'm genetically predisposed to get rid of it and be well. And then my body's sitting there with tons of extra antibodies because it goes into overdrive. Yeah. So the chances of me going to the hospital for COVID, pretty much zero. Chances are I actually already had it. That's pretty high. So the vaccine's not going to do a damn thing for me other than give me a false sense of confidence. And like I said, possibly turn me into the next Typhoid Mary, COVID edition. I don't think anybody wants that. And I at least personally would like to know, hey, if I'm running a fever, isolate from my mother-in-law and my wife. I don't need to kill them without knowing that I'm sick. I mean, at least if I know I'm sick, I can isolate from them and not spread it to them. And we can scrub down the whole house, which takes a lot of work, and I'm lazy, so I don't want to do that much work unless I have to. Okay, sorry, rant done. I apologize for anybody who feels uncomfortable with that rant. I apologize that they feel uncomfortable. They shouldn't feel uncomfortable. This is an open opportunity to discuss your issues, even if your issues are with me. Nobody's discussing, so we'll go on. Hey, why not? How about that cane rod auction last night? Awesome things were happening for the YTPC, proving again that we're one of the greatest communities out there on the internet right now. I saw a corn cob go for $250. A corn cob for $250. Why? Because people felt that they would like to help out a family that, quite honestly, very few of us have actually met the guy that passed. None of us really can say that we met his family. I mean, there might be one or two out there that can say, oh yeah, we knew him before COVID. But slim chance of that. But there's this auction going on last night that all the stuff was donated, and all the money is going back to that family. That's awesome. You don't see that in too many communities. They just don't do it. In the YTPC, they dig through the couch to find the extra last quarter that they can get so that they can outbid one another for a $5 pipe for $250. Okay, the pipe was not only worth $5. The stem alone was worth $30. But still, it's a corn cob. Most expensive corn cob I saw before last night was $30 tops. But there were pipes that went for sale. Well, auction. Tobacco, and knives, and tobacco trays, and various different things. The matches 860. Now I'm gonna give you two statements here. It went for $380. $100 pipe went for $380. And then the man with the winning bid said to send the pipe to the guy who bid $10 less than him. For those of you who are not in the know, that would have been Mike at Briar Blues who won the pipe, and Fireman Piper who's going to receive the pipe. I mean, you see these charity auctions. Normally, whoever's got the highest bid is like, yeah, I'm keeping it. Oh no. There were several things that people with the winning bid then said, oh, send it to somebody else. Or, hey, Cane Rod, keep it yourself. They just wanted to give away the money to the family that is now in need. And it's all going for a good cause. So I think, I mean, I think it's awesome. Also, last night we got to see a certain person named Martin that had his first Cuban. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that's one of those things that you'll never forget as your first Cuban. Boris, yeah, that auction was great. I can't imagine anybody who can watch the YTPC auctions, the ones that we've had, and not have like a little bit of a tear form up, because it's just a beautiful thing to see people from all walks of life come together and help out with, they're not expecting any kind of thanks. They do it because they want to, and they can. Broke, I can't. But I would have. Howdy, Mr. Freeze. Great to see you, sir. Don't worry, the hat's on so I don't freeze. 3-1 Finland. I'd say ole, 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 but that's not Finland. What's the Finland cheer, Boris? Go ahead, type it in there. I know Skål is Iceland. And it's also the Minnesota Vikings. But it will be good to see Finland in the World Cup this coming year, or is it next year? I always get confused on when the World Cup is showing up. And I'm sorry to anybody who doesn't like soccer, but the World Cup is probably the world's greatest sporting event. And except for some people that decided that they wanted to make an embarrassment of themselves for their own national team, it really shows a sense of national pride for every one of those players to get out there and represent their country to the best of their abilities. I'm not going to say what group of people might have made an embarrassment of themselves, but I'm thinking some of y'all might be able to figure that out. I don't watch sports for politics. I watch politics for politics. I watch sports for sports. Just my take on things. All right, Boris, not a problem. Well, chant your favorite Finland chant, because 3-1 is a pretty good indication they're going to win this game. I've seen great soccer matches that ended up 1-0. Tile Guy's finally here. All right, Steph, you take care. Be safe. Keep your firearm handy, just in case. Hey, woman at home, alone, letting some guy she doesn't know into her house with tools. I know you're probably vetting them very well and it's not going to be an issue, but you know. Oh, well, as long as the kiddos are there. Too many eyes. Ain't no way to cover them all. Glenn made another Falcon Bowl recently. Put that video out on the internet just earlier today. I'm gonna tell you, Glenn does damn good work. When he started doing the let's see, how did John say it? The rustification process. When Glenn started doing the rustication process, I was curious on what in the heck he was doing. Then I saw what it was, and I was like, man, that's beautiful. If you haven't seen that video, you'll have plenty of time. It's only about 13 minutes, I think. Might even be shorter than that. Good video. I wish I could do work anything close to that. Of course, I'd have to have the machines and the tools. I don't. Maybe one day, but not yet. Though I did make this on this pipe. I guess y'all can't see it very well right now. The lighting is poor, and I'm sorry. Steph calls it the elephant. It only needs some ears right about there. Just in case anybody's worried, later today, when you're supposed to be looking for Jose Cavendish, he will not be on. His time slot is going to be filled in by James and Betty. If you're looking for that, that'd be Dingus McSwine II. Jose went in to the hospital for an appendicitis. But heard from him last night. He's doing well. They're finally feeding him. Oh, is that tomorrow night? I get it confused. Yeah, I guess it is tomorrow. That would be tomorrow night. I apologize. I was wrong. I'm backwards on my thinking here. Yeah, it's after Steve and Kathy. Well after Steve and Kathy, but it's still after Steve and Kathy. So some other channels y'all might be interested in. Let My Cameron Go, guy by the name of Nathan. And Let My Cameron Go has been doing a prayer meetings on Monday evenings, about 9 p.m. Eastern time. Howdy, James. Great to see you, sir. By the way, James, making him smoke that Cuban last night, while it's kind of cool, I would have had him save it for like a little bit more of a special occasion, because that's a damn good cigar. Don't get me wrong, brother. Anytime you can smoke a Cuban here in the United States, that's a special time. But yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess, for me anyways. Oh yeah, no, I saw him do it there, Boris. But that's a great stick. Yeah, the Partagas D series, any of the D series, you're going to find that's just a phenomenal stick. And I'm just going to say it. Somebody sends you a Partagas D series and you don't want it, you can send it right on to me, because I will appreciate it greatly. You can ask Stumbo. He ended up getting a full face kiss from me, because I guarantee I puckered up and blew it right there at the camera. He sent me one. I didn't ask for it. He just sent it. I'm telling you, James, you're too nice. And I appreciate it. In fact, I smoked it the day that my granddaughter was born. I found a special occasion. It was fantastic. Oh yeah, James, not a problem, not a problem. The D6, it's a great stick. The D5's great. The D4 is great. I like the D4 better because, I mean, if I'm going to enjoy a Cuban, I really want to be able to sit down and enjoy it. Howdy, Scott. Great to see you, sir. Oh, well, I guarantee you I was smiling. I knew what it was as soon as I saw it. And my wife was looking at me like, it's a cigar. So what? But when I explained it to her, she was like, oh, shit. Hell yeah. She said, you got to save that for something special. And I was like, I am. I am. James, hey, not a problem. Look, it's a $10 stick. And it is one of the classically best cigars on the planet. A lot of people are not talking about it. A lot more people should be talking about it. Very similar to the Joyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2. It's a great stick. It's not expensive. It is Cuban. You can taste the difference. And, you know, it has to do with sunlight and humidity and rainfall and the soil. And there's so much that goes into growing a great cigar. Oh, Scott, that would be the Partagas D series. That is D as in Delta. And James sent me a number 6. But the number 5 and the number 4 are fantastic. It's exactly the same stick. It's just you get more time. Oh, James. Not a question there. The Padrones. Padrones are excellent cigars. Yeah, Boris. The Joyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2. Lighter stick. But, I mean, it's probably the best first thing in the morning stick I've ever had. Goes great with a cup of coffee. I promise you that. And Patches, howdy sir. Great to have you on board. And yes, I did see that you said something about 36 bucks Canadian. Good Lord. But yeah, there's certain cigars out there in the world that are just supremely good. And when you get a hold of one, I gotta tell you, it's very difficult not to enjoy it. James. Patches isn't saying 32 bucks for a 5-pack. He's talking about each one. And Boris is exactly right. You will not get that Cuban taste unless it is actually Cuban grown and Cuban rolled. There is no possible way that you're going to get that Cuban taste out of a Nicaraguan cigar. Not going to happen. So yeah, James, think about if you were spending $32 for each one of those sticks. Then you start going, oh my God, that's oh yeah, no, not good. Steph, we're going to have to rectify that at some point. But I think you better like cigars before you actually get there. Because you're going to love that Cuban. But if you don't like cigars, it's kind of hard to say that. Well, James, but you liked cigars when you had them. You just didn't know how much better some cigars are than what you were smoking. And now that you've had some Cubans, you know how much better some cigars really are. I saw when you got that first Cuban from Simon, and I knew exactly what it was, and I was just like, oh my God, score. And obviously you liked it. James, that'd probably be a good cigar for her. Yeah, the tobaccos, they definitely have a good coffee flavor. Patches, it's not just that they joked about them being rolled on the thighs of Cuban women. They were rolled on the thighs of Cuban virgin women. I worked in cigar shops. I know all the jokes. Now, there are people in other ports of call, not in America, they can get Cubans. Here in America, there's still a stupidity of an embargo that doesn't make sense anymore. James, I saw a few recently you wouldn't. Of course, I saw a few recently that nobody would, but that's just a statement of, oh, man, that woman was ugly enough to make the ugly tree flinch. Well, Scott, some Nicaraguan cigars are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. There's fantastic cigars coming out of Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic and Honduras and Costa Rica. I've had cigars from all over the world, and if you get the right cigar, something that matches your palate, it's a whole nother world. Oh, Patches, hey, gotta remember, Steph's in here and she read the she read the warning on my channel that this is not a good channel for those who are easily offended. Steph's kind of a... She's one of those hidden gem kind of women. She doesn't do that, oh my God, I have to be offended because somebody said something slightly off and the word women was in their statement. Oh yeah, Partagas, the Monte Cristos. Oh yeah, definitely some good Cubans out there. Woo, 55 Chevy. Nice. More chrome on that car that just went by than I've seen on any 3 trucks in the last decade. And Mike, yes, you're right. The ugly stick not only ran away, but it crawled back up in the tree and said, "Let me in, let me in." I'm not saying where I saw them, I'm just saying I saw some recently. Ugh. Little bit of a breeze going. Just cool enough to make it chilly on the back of my neck. Oh yeah. Scott, if we can figure out exactly where your palate lies, I can probably tell you which cigars you really are going to start enjoying. Not saying that you haven't enjoyed some cigars before, but I can help steer you towards some that you're going to really, really fall in love with. And like James said, just like pipe tobacco, there's cigars out there for everybody. The hard part is finding them. I mean, if your palate matches mine fairly well, I could give you my list and you'd be in heaven. But if your palate doesn't match mine, you'd hear my list and you'd be like, God, I hate all of those. Not a problem, Scott. Trust me on this one. I know a lot of people that do not like the cigars I like. I mean, but like I said, I worked at a cigar shop. So I tried them all. Well, all of them that I could while I worked there. Because I had to know what it was that they liked about the cigars that they did like, so that I could suggest other cigars that they would equally enjoy. Sometimes a little bit cheaper even. Sometimes a little more expensive. But the trick of any tobacconist is to try and figure out what the palate of their potential customer is and generate a blend or a cigar, or find a blend or a cigar that is the perfect pick for your palate. Trying to do that, it's hard. Some people are extremely good at it. I'm not bad. I know some people who are better. Now, James, I love that statement. If you can find a cigar that you like for under $5 per stick, and you can look at someone in the eye and say, I like this cigar, and you don't feel bad about saying it, you almost always have to follow it up with, is it the best cigar you've ever had? No, it's not. But is it the best cigar you'll ever have for this price? Most likely. Big win for Finland. Congratulations, Boris, and all of Finland. Looking forward to seeing y'all in the World Cup. Well, Scott, I am glad to hear you say that, because there are some cigars out there that are cheap as hell and definitely worth getting. And there's some cigars out there that are expensive and not worth the money at all. And I'll tell you like this. James is being very serious, Scott. He's going to send it to you. And if he does it like he did me, he's going to figure out a way to make sure you don't have his address so you can't send him nothing back. Yeah, he sent me a jar of Num Nums and some cigars and a tamper and another tamper and a keychain and made it so I can't give you anything back. But that's okay, I'll figure it out. I know you would, James. I've got something planned. Well, then your wife is the U.S. Postal Ninja, because normally you have to at least put a return address on these things. Nope, no return address. She put it out there in the mail and it came right to me. Of course, I don't hide. I don't hide at all because, well, welcome to Texas, y'all. There's a lot of words that go into that simple statement. What is Num Nums? Oh my God, Paul. It is a pure Virginia blend that does not taste anything like a pure Virginia blend. The only problem is, the only person that knows how to make it is James Stumbo. And I'm telling you, you're going to want pounds of it. Be afraid. Be very afraid, because it's addictive. It's so good. Oh, crap. One guy got red carded and they still pulled out the win and got some extra points on there. Nice. You got some strings? Is that for your guitar? If you wanted some guitar strings, I could probably send you some. I just got to find my guitars and unstring them. Sorry. Family trait. We speak fluent redneck around here. Anybody who didn't understand what I said there, just trust me, some of us did. Ah, pipe tobacco. Heard of it. I'm always leery of trying those blends that are impossible for me to get. Because if I like it a lot, then I'm in trouble. And now I just got a text message that tells me I'm in trouble. Holly just sent me a text message that said, "Can you bring me some coffee and come hold me?" Somewhere in the middle of a pipe. And a live feed. So I'm gonna have to start smoking this pipe pretty hard. But let's see here. Text her back. Give me a minute. I'm almost finished with my pipe. I bought 5 minutes. Don't worry, Scott. I am a man of the iron tongue. I never get tongue bite. But she knows if I'm almost finished with a pipe, that could be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So, unfortunately, normally she doesn't wake up this early, but it's so close to after the time change that it feels like an hour later for her. James, I didn't mention num-nums to make you lose your whole supply.
Trash.
And my mother-in-law is starting to gripe. Yay. So much fun. Remember, James, that is dark with an extra K, Paul. Don't put 2 extra Ks because that's wrong. Alright, so unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, family is calling. I would love to hang out quite a bit longer. And I know I'm supposed to fill in for the whole hour for Steph. And normally I would have no problems or issues doing such. But women folk and frustrations, and I'm not wanting to leave y'all, but I'm gonna have to before I end up with a shotgun wedding where I get wedded to the wrong end of a shotgun. Maybe that should be a shotgun wetting, where I make the shotgun wet on one end. Blood splatter, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for only filling in for about 20 minutes of Steph's live feed. And I didn't know that this day was going to turn out this way. Otherwise, I would have tried to make sure that something else had happened. Like feed her a little more Benadryl last night. No, I didn't say that. But actually, I did. Anyways, it's been so much fun having y'all over. Great to see all of y'all. I just want y'all to be well, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can on that. And as per always, try to remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and hopefully I can see you real soon. Bye for now.